This is Dave Simon. It is the day after Labor Day, and if you're like me, you're probably gearing up to all of your or gearing up to go big with your fall marketing. Everybody should be back in school. Um, Kids are getting settled in, and parents are starting to come to the realization that um, their kid has nothing to do after school, and they need scheduling. The the easiest place to look for students at this time of year is people that have dropped out um, from your studio, going into summer. If you're anything like my school, you probably have a few of those drops. Um, and at this point in my marketing plan, I've sent out some group emails, and now I'm going to go and get a little more focused in my email efforts. I'm going to get off of constant contact, or I'm going to use constant contact, but I'm going to make my emails look more personalized and constant contact through a mail merge. A couple copywriting a couple copywriting things to really focus on, and I think as musicians we can all relate to this, is the importance of the subject of your email. Think of it as sort of the title of your song. And think of it really as your main hook of your email. That subject of that email is going to determine whether the recipient of the email is going to open it or not. So in previous years, we would write typically the subject for an email going out now might be fall enrollment. That's not necessarily a super appealing subject matter. Instead, we've personalized it, and we're seeing better open rates by saying your child's fall schedule, or your child's after school plans. That, by saying your child, it's more personalized, and we are seeing better open rates in our emails with that subject. So there's your main hook. There's your chorus, your main melody that people are going to lock into and decide whether they want to listen to the rest of the song or read the rest of the email. This next sentence, that first opening sentence of your email, is the second most important bit of copy in your email. If they open it, they're going to read that sentence, and that's going to determine whether they continue on or not. Whenever anyone's opening email, it's important that we understand their mindset. They're in this mindset of they got a lot of emails to sift through, and they're trying to figure out what should they delete and what should they read. So this first sentence is really important. You could maybe, make a statement that's creating some urgency for the person. Our schedule's filling up quickly, and we want to make sure your child finds the best time spot that's going to work for your schedule. Or you could write something that's going to be a little bit more emotional. Music, or that will trigger an emotion. So maybe something like, music can serve as a nice break from school and homework. Where you're kind of expressing concern in the child's well-being. Again, your main objective is you want them to read that second sentence. That's key. If you got them through the subject, the subject gets them to open the email, that first sentence is gonna get them to read on. I typically make kind of rule of thumb for myself is making my emails very targeted on one subject matter. In this case, the subject matter is getting them to re-enroll, the value in that, and why they should act now. And I also make a point to keep my email copy to maybe 3 to 5 sentences. Try to keep it as short as possible. When they open the email and they see it's short copy, Now they're confronting the question of, is it worth it for me to invest just a few seconds in reading it? This email looks like an easy email to read. If it's 2 paragraphs long, 3 paragraphs long, and your subject matter is shifting and you're trying to hit multiple points, they're likely not to read it. Something else which is recommended in the email, is to find that one key sentence outside of that first sentence that contains some information that kind of summarizes the whole essence of your message, and bold it. That will draw their eye to it. Bullet points are also a really attractive component in an email for a reader. Even a PS. That's great. People see a PS. I know it's more of an old-fashioned way of communicating. The PS came about from people coming up with a final thought after they wrote an email and they couldn't go back and add it in, so they would write a PS. It's still an effective copywriting technique. I often will bold my PS. So really take a moment, spend as much time in the spend as much time on the subject of your email as you do in the copy, because that subject is going to determine whether they open and proceed any further.